So hello everybody, welcome back. We are continuing with the food list. This is a reproduction list. So whatever I'm saying is best if you try to see these lists from the beginning, because then it might make more sense. And by the way, you will very likely need a coffee and notebooks and stuff like that, because everything that I say, most of the things that I say, you probably didn't even think about it, or you never looked at that in this way, because again, we are used to cooking in good times, and we are also used to having everything delivered and all of that. But right now, hell no. And like I said, cooking is not just buying food, getting it, and then, cooking it. Oh, hell no. There is a hell of a lot of things that are related to food. And so it's important to understand that this is a process in which you connect with other people, you connect with the food, you also connect to social things, and it involves a lot of things, including the senses, which is what we're going to talk about. So, grab your coffee, and if you wanted to share a coffee with me, you can do that in the link down below. And if you wanted to help me out, you can also send an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much for that one. And here I go. So 2 things. Number 1. Like I said, we are used to ordering around everything. We go to restaurants, we don't cook a lot. And usually when we try something new, it takes a little bit of time to come up with the right recipe or stuff like that, unless you follow a recipe exactly as a book. Now, following a recipe exactly by a book when you don't have all the ingredients, that's not happening. But the point is that you or your neighbors will be cooking without experience, and then at this point, the smell of bad food, because there will be people that will be cooking things that are almost decomposed, and hell, for all I know, there are people that do not buy things properly, like fish or other things, because they don't recognize it when things are fresh. So the smell of food that is decomposed and you're cooking it, let's say that you and your neighbor are cooking at the same time. Your neighbor cooks something, and they burn it because they didn't know. Or the smell is something like, what the hell are you cooking? Are you cooking what? A zombie? Yeah, kind of like that. So if you're the type of person that, when she or he eats, they are kind of like, I like it when the smell is good and stuff like that. Yeah, are you willing to be able to eat when somebody next to you, is cooking, and everything smells burnt, or everything smells rotten? Yeah. Or when your neighbors are burning trash because there is no trash services. Because you see, when I told you, food is not just food. When you eat, you take, you have things that you need to dispose of. And so it's important, because if you don't have trash services, that means that you have things that are decomposing near your place. And that will affect your sense of smell. So, in fact, some people, when somebody else is cooking, I have friends that when I cook, for example, sardines, they will wake up and then immediately start running outside of the house. They go kind of like, oh hell no, I cannot stand the smell of sardines. Or there are other people that go kind of like, what the hell are you cooking? Like I said, are you cooking a zombie? What the hell? And they will be pissed at you, because, you wake up. And most of the people, when they wake up in the morning, they go kind of like, I want the smell of the coffee. I want the smell. Yeah, that's not happening. Sometimes, I'm not saying that this will happen every single day, but oh hell, it will happen with certain frequency. Especially when you are sharing the kitchen with other people. So let's say that you are the one who you share the kitchen with your roommate, your friend, your boyfriend, and then your mother and somebody else and whatever. So they cook before you. And now the smell of whatever the hell they'll cook is not going to leave the kitchen. Yeah. So now you're going to go into the kitchen and the kitchen smells like, yeah, like there were monkeys having sex in there. So, oh hell, oh crap. So also you need to understand, like I said, that you will be sharing the kitchen with other people very likely at one point or another. And not everyone is as clean as you. And not everyone will understand that when you buy fish, you're supposed to look at certain things depending upon what fish you are buying, so that you know that they're fresh and they are not almost rotten. And people will just buy them, and sometimes they will freeze them, and then they will not even know that they are freezing something that it was already almost rotten. So when they start cooking it is when they realize, oh my god, that thing was rotten, but the smell is going to be, yeah. So I don't know how to deal with this one, except that you might need to buy, like I said, something to take the air out of the kitchen, the fan for the kitchen, the exhaustion fan kind of thing. And then you might, if there is no electricity, you might need to plug something in that thing so that it will work. If you are the type of person that cannot stand bad smells, And also, some people, they will sell you food and the food is good or whatever, but I don't know how to put it. There are people that will be so like paranoid and stuff like that about other people's hygiene, that they go kind of like, I'm not buying food from you because you look like you don't shower 2 times a day every day. Yeah, kind of like that. So there are people that are maniacs about cleaning and stuff like that, and there are other people that are not so maniacs and stuff like that. So you have to understand, we're just people. Nobody has to be exactly like you, and why would you want anybody to be exactly like you? So, it's important that you have some sort of arrangement before hard times. Sort of like I told you in the other videos, you need like a ruling. In this kitchen, you're not allowed to have cell phones. In this kitchen, if you're going to cook something, make sure that it's okay and stuff like that. In this kitchen, you have to clean everything and then make it, put it in whatever place you're supposed to put it. Hell, for all I know, that you can have like a map in which forks go here, spoons go here, these ones go here, and that one go there, or whatever. But it's important that everybody knows about these things, and you do not judge people because they burn the food. Because, by the way, you will also burn the food eventually. Even if you are a chef, sometimes, you will be talking on the phone because of an emergency. Sometimes you left the oven too much or whatever, or maybe you are in a hurry, maybe you whatever, and you are going to burn the food, and the food is going to stink. And it's going to bother everybody, so you're not the only one. The thing is that everybody will be kind of pissed at you anyway. So, hell, for all I know, you are the one who is pissed at everybody else because they are cooking stuff and they don't know. So your best bet will also be writing down, again, talk to your grandparents. Oh my God, talk to them and ask them, how the hell do you know if a fish is good, and not rotten? How the hell do you do this without rotting the food and stuff like that? Because then again, when you are about to, hell, for all I know, you might be eating something from a can, and the can was bent or it was mishandled or whatever, and the thing is also rotten, even though it's from a can. And there are people that do not get this one. So, it's just... It's important that you cook everything the best you can, because also this will lead to a hell of a lot of people having all kinds of bacteria in their stomach, and all kinds of parasites and all kinds of things. Because, again, when was the last time that you saw local and I do mean local kind of food that, are the grandparents of yours used to eat, without chemicals and without anything. And do you know how the hell to cook that thing? Because for all I know, they were cooking raccoons or iguanas or worms or I don't know, whatever the hell they were, fixing. Because now we're only eating cows and chicken. By the way, chicken, like I said, in the top 5 foods most sell all over, like most consumed in the entire planet. Chicken is number 1. Number 2 is soups of all kinds. And number 3 is salads of all kinds. And number 4 is rice and everything else. And it's kind of like a mismatch, because in some places it will be potatoes, and some places it will be rice. But no one beats chicken, and no one beats salads, and no one beats soups. And by the way, this one is soups in general and salads in general. It's not just that one. So maybe you have never cooked chicken before. Hell, I have seen the first time that I cooked chicken. My friend looked at me kind of like, oh hell, that thing is raw. What the hell are you doing? And then I said, oh hell, it's not raw. I'm used to eating it like this. And she said, oh hell no. You're supposed to do this and this and this and this and this and this and that. So then I went kind of like, oh crap. So, also, you probably are not used to buying the whole chicken. You're probably used to buying like trays filled with parts of the chicken, and they don't have skin and they are, cleaned and everything. But now you will have to buy the whole thing. And that means that you have to cook it, like clean it entirely. That means removing the intestines and other things, things that you're supposed to throw away and stuff like that. So you might not know how the hell to do that one, so... and then, like I said, maybe you don't understand how to know if the chicken is fresh or if it's not fresh, So you need to talk to your grandparents, or talk to a lot of chefs and ask them how the hell do you recognize, and write down 20 tips or your main 20 categories, like how do you know if chicken is fresh? How do you know if this particular fish is fresh? Because that one is for your local, your local lake. How do you know if this one is fresh? How do you know if that one is fresh? Write down your main 20 things and then ask. Because this information is very, very helpful, and you will need it printed. And you, for all I know, you might need to share the printed thing with everybody. And it's like also... when you're cooking pork, it's extremely important, because pork will have bacteria and will have things that will grow actually into your brain, and then they will not show up until 10 years later, because they take a hell of a lot of time for them to develop into your brain or in your stomach or whatever. So some things that you might throw up and you might have an indigestion immediately, but some things you will not. And you will need certain specifications. That's why a hell of a lot of people, when they don't know, or when they work in a restaurant, they need to make sure that the thing is cooked and everything, and that's why they buy the cooking thermometer. My mom doesn't need it. I don't need it. But a lot of people will need it, because they don't know these things. And these things are not written. But, things that are not written, people that are beginning to cook, they don't know. Now, the second one that I wanted to share is, also, this one is kind of annoying, because this one is kind of like, yeah, you need a plan. And this one is, let's say that, you have an electrical oven. So you made a cake, and you are cooking the cake in the electrical oven, and now, boom, there is a power outage. What the hell do you do with the cake? I mean, I can tell you right now that you have several choices. Some people will use, they will go kind of like, oh crap, they will be pissed or whatever. They will start, thinking, and then sometimes they will leave the thing inside the oven, and then they will leave. And when the electricity comes back in, sometimes the oven will turn on by itself. And if that happens, you come home and the whole thing is almost on fire. because you forgot. By the way, like I said, there will be people that are going to be like that. And the other one is, okay, I need this cake in 25 minutes because that one was, my friend's birthday cake and I need to get it or whatever. So what the hell do you do? So you need a plan as in, what the hell do you do with a cake that you cannot keep cooking in the electrical oven because you have no electricity? Or how the hell do you finish cooking rice that you just put into the rice cooker? Because the rice cooker also works with electricity. Or what the hell do you do? I mean, you get the point, right? You are cooking with an electrical device and all of a sudden, boom, power outage. What the hell do you do with that thing? I can tell you right now what we do. We have neighbors. You can go to your neighbor's house running. And that is if it is not raining, and if it is raining, then you need the ponchos and you need everything to try to protect the food, and then you need to call your neighbor and tell them, hey, because some neighbors will have grills that work with wood, and some neighbors will have grills that work with propane, and they will have propane. However, if propane is scarce and all of that, you might need to get propane somehow. And then, figure out that one to help your neighbor so that your neighbor can help you. And, that is one way to deal with this. But number one, for this, you need to talk to your neighbor beforehand. Because it's not like you're going to go door to door knocking. Hey, do you have an oven that will work? Yeah, no. Yeah, do you have an oven that will work? No. I mean, come on. You're going to go, what, 3-4 blocks? Or all the neighbors knocking on everybody's door to do the same thing? Oh, hell no, you need an advanced thing, meaning you need to call your neighbor and ask them, in advance, hey, what kind of, how do you cook? Do you cook by propane? Do you cook by this? And hell, for all I know, like I said, you might need to barter the propane with them. Because in my case, I have both. I have electricity and I have propane, and sometimes I will get neighbors that do not have propane, and they will come here, and then they will tell me, okay, I'll get the propane for you and stuff like that. So I help them out in case of that one. You can also go to a local bakery, because local bakeries usually they will have a wood thing, like a restaurant that makes pizzas in the wood thing, a la leña thing. I don't know how the hell to call a la leña thing in English. But you get my point, right? I mean, it's a wood thing that is not propane and is a natural thing. So you can go there and tell them, hey, could you please, finish this turkey in your oven and I will pay you. By the way, there are a lot of bakeries that will charge you for it, and then they are offering these services. So they go kind of like, yeah, how much they will weight the thing. So for example, if you're baking an entire pig or turkey, they will say, okay, that thing is, let's say 20 pounds, and that thing is, you need to cook it for this long, and we are going to be aware of this thing, and we are going to, make sure that it doesn't go all crazy. So we will have the special dressing and all of that, and then they will charge you for it. And you don't have to, worry because they are doing it. So that is an option. Especially, when you don't have time and you need to make sure that thing is actually, done. But you need to provide the tray and everything, and you will have to pay in advance. And sometimes, if you have too much demand, for example, let's say that this is for Thanksgiving, you're doing this for Thanksgiving, of course, you probably not need to pay in advance like 10 or probably, for all I know, 10 days ahead or maybe 2 weeks beforehand, and tell them, hey, do not use the oven for anything else other than my freaking turkey. Because, they will have clients that are always aware of this situation, and clients that do not want to spend the propane that they have, because let's say that you need to cook this thing and it takes, let's say 4 hours. My God, 4 hours in your propane? On your propane? Oh, hell no. Because, you take too long to try to get the freaking propane. So hell no, it's better to hire this service, because whatever money they're charging you, you are making sure of several things. Like number one, that thing will be done properly. For all I know, they will have the thermometer and they will be, doing this. And number two is the most important one, which is that you are saving your energy, and whether you have, no power or whatever, the meal will be done, and it will be done on time. So that is priceless. So and like I said, that one is charged by the weight of the thing that you are handling. And they will they will wait with tray and everything. It's not like, okay, the turkey was 8 pounds. Oh hell no, the whole thing with the tray and the dressing and everything is 25 pounds. You are paying 25 pounds. You are not paying 8. So this one is also very important to understand. And for all I know, they will ask you to provide the aluminum foil top so that so that it will be very cooked or whatever. And there are but the point is that you need a plan for when your electrical devices do not work because you don't have power. And this will also work for the coffee or for the water kettle, for the tea, or for whatever it is that, that it's going to be just right there in the middle. So you are making the coffee and it goes power outage, boom. Oh crap. So you have only like this much of coffee maybe in your cup. Because instead of having the whole cup, because the thing started, not anymore. And then it's kind of like that. So some people will buy the one that I mentioned in the car agenda, the thing that will make coffee and tea in your car. And that way, if you have something that it didn't go through, you put it in the car and at least you will have the coffee. It won't be able to fix the problem with the rice or the other things, but at least, you can finish cooking that thing in the car. And it is also very important that you understand that some neighbors, if you do have these things, like a wood oven or a propane oven or something like that, neighbors might ask you to do the cooking. If they ask you to do the cooking, you can negotiate, okay, so you're bringing me one chicken, and because I'm cooking it and I'm dressing it and whatever, I'm taking half. I will give you half and then I give you half. And since I already did the rice, I give you half of my rice and then I'm taking half of your chicken. So that will actually happen a lot, People will be kind of like, yeah, I cannot make the bread, but I can make the chicken. So how about, I trade you this one for that one because I don't have the capacity to do this one because I don't have electricity, I don't have propane, I don't have this. Or if I do it, it will be right in the middle. And if it gets right in the middle, like I said with the cake, you might need to know how to fix that one because the cake is a baking thing. And it needs to rise, And if it is warm, it will start rising. And if it starts rising and all of a sudden it goes down, we call that we call it the spasm, as an spasm, meaning instead of going like a balloon, it will be kind of like a fluffy, whole thing, like a sink, like a dent, and it will be like that. So. Yeah, that's why, people that do bakery here, like they sell cakes and cookies and stuff like that. Yeah, that's why people buy them. And people don't bother making them anymore because if you have an electrical oven, oh my God, if that happens to you, like I said, you just lost the entire, the entire mix unless you are willing to, not eat it rice and fluffy and everything, but rather with a dent and weird in the texture and stuff because you couldn't cook it entirely. And that is if the electricity comes back in and you're able to cook it. Unless, like I said, you run towards your neighbor who has a propane oven and then you fix it and put it in the oven very quickly and stuff like that. And even then you might have a dent or it might not rise properly and stuff like that. So, you really need to understand that this one, like I said, is a process and you need other people to help you out with, So, I hope this was helpful. Remember to watch this from the beginning and share the channel if it was helpful. So, thank you.